I'm not doing much shed hunting this trip. I don't have much time. I need to prioritize making a trek back home. A good sign that you're on a moose trail is these. Nothing's gonna break a big piece of, or a big log like that, except for moose stepping on it over and over. You're also looking for how old this break is. You can see that is new. This would be from a newer shed, and if you find it, it's not gonna be rotted, as opposed to this one right here. See how old that is? You follow that one, and that's all you see, you're gonna find an old shed. Also, you wanna follow in the direction that it's pushed. See, they're pushed that way. You go the other way, it's probably 100% chance you're not gonna find that moose shed you're after. I've been following this moose trail for probably about a quarter mile so far, and I keep following these new breaks. See, there's a new one here. See one up there. There's one over there. You gotta make sure too that you're not following different breaks. So say I'm following this one for a long time, and then I get misplaced and get one that's a little older. I'm back on this trail. Same height, same age of breakness. There's another one over there, another one here, another one there. Rain on the way, and I'm about 3 hours from camp, about an hour from my canoe. I finally found my first shed. I've been pushing myself this long. I mean, paddling back in dark, probably maybe rain too, to my camp, just because I wanted to find a shed. This is the furthest I've ever pushed, and the furthest maybe I'll ever go. But like, I finally found one. Go check it out. Looks like good size. I've been following this trail too for a long time. Okay. Just one tine missing, a few chewed off. Oh, pretty good condition. I gotta haul this a good hour back to my canoe now. What a side note. Bull moose, they like the tops of these hills because not only is it really easy for them to get through compared to the bottoms, because the bottoms always have a lot of old growth and it's a lot thicker because of the water, the lake, the river, the creek, whatever. But also, when a fire happens, it always scorches the very top the most of hills. That's why it's the most barren. And it has some rock areas, some places don't, but it's pretty clear. But because of that, you also have vegetation that grows up, and that's where they come up to feed. They eat all this vegetation on the top of the hills. And the bull moose, when they are fully, have their antlers all the way, they don't go down for many reasons other than getting a drink. They just sit up here on these flat areas for a very, very long time. Oh man, too late for that one, huh? Where's the rest of it? Never seen this before. In a little area where every single birch branch is broken off. There must be like 100 of them, all broken off in one area. One in burn areas. Finding sheds, you want to get to the top of the hill and spend the least amount of energy that you can. So I just look for a good log to climb on up, and that'll take me to the top. I'm trying to make the port to lake, and I'm gonna have to go out of my way now. I'm almost to the lake, but I have this blowdown, which this stuff like this extends right now for me about 50 yards that way, and then it's cliff. So I gotta keep going this way, and whatever breakthrough I find, that's gonna be my path. Then I gotta backtrack to get back east. Nothing you can do. You just gotta work around it. But that's why I make my first path through with nothing on me at all. And you do it like the day or two before you make your trek. So, okay. As I said, with shed hunting, you want to get to the top of the hills and then start looking from there and stay on top. So when you're looking at the hillside itself, especially in a burn area, make sure that you're not going to walk into an area that has only a few standing dead trees. There's lots of places where there's lots of them standing. If there's not a lot standing, there's going to be a lot down, and that is going to be, there's going to be less likelihood of moose traveling through there, and it's going to be so much harder for you to travel through there. When looking at the map, topography and everything, you know, like you got the top of the hills right in here. There's top of the hill, there's top of the hill, etc. Those are okay, but such a steep incline for the moose just to lay on a small space is not going to be very much for you to look for all that work getting up that high. So you want to look somewhere where there's a lot of space at a high elevation. And also you want to look where it's next to a creek, preferably, or a lake. But I like a creek, especially with a lot of beaver dams, because they use beaver dams as accesses to get into water, out of water, across, everything. I mean, that's a huge key. So, like I said, big spaces. Nothing quite like at 6 o'clock in the morning have a foot warmer fire and then start the other fire. Oh, this feels so good right now. Oh my gosh. Seeing things that stick out. Look at all these knots on this tree. Hundreds of them. They're like a disease. A key to cutting wood is having some kind of pressure down on the opposite end while you're cutting off this edge. It's like coping. If you ever coped, you go really lightly, but with a fast friction until you feel it just barely bite, and then you start giving it a little bit more pressure. If you don't, it's gonna get caught like that, and you're gonna get pissed off. And know your saw too, whether or not it's a pull or a push or both, the blades. This is a silky saw. It needs to be tightened up. It's had quite a lot of use on this trip. It cuts like butter, everything. So here we go. I'm not even giving it much force. I'm just letting the saw do its job with a little bit of pressure. It's a happy medium, just like snowboarding, like knowing when that, you know, the heel edge, like you just got to get that feeling down. Yeah. Okay, so I'm getting ready to wrap up my trip. I'm running out of energy. My legs are torn up. I can feel a cramp coming on after about 2 or 3 hours looking for sheds. The first day I found 3, and the second day I pushed for about 8 hours and didn't find anything. So you never know. It's just like when I catch the big fish. I can push for 2 days straight and catch maybe 1. Other times catch more. Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap this up because mainly if I get a cramp on this next port going from lake to lake, it could be very serious. Because I'm bushwhacking the whole way. I made it there today. It took probably 4 hours going back and forth to find the correct path that I need without going up too much terrain. First I'm going up a hill, down another hill. I'm going through a bog. After the bog, I'll be entering the old forest. It's going from the new growth to the old forest. That's a little easier, but there's a lot of winds and turns because the creek splits into 3. And but now I know which one to take. After I get done with that, I'll be going through a bog area, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to take that bog all the way around to the bottom of it. But I picked this. It's got a nice rock shelf over here, I'll show you, and it had a V groove in it, so I just built out that and then put a top on it. You'll see. It's probably my favorite fire pit that I've made. Let me show you. So I call this the stuffing fire pit. You can just jam all the wood you want in there and just let it go, which is amazing because last night and the night before I've had wolves, and these wolves, I'm not kidding you, they're just over the hillside. So this was just a V groove. I think I took a picture. And I just built it out like that. I think I'm gonna leave this here just because the port's so crazy, but I would like to use it to practice carving on, and also I might be able to salvage some of these tines and put them on ones that are destroyed, like that one down there and a few that I have at home. So that would be nice, especially like this tine here that I just randomly found. That's my tackle, mostly spoons, only because when you're out this far and you go for more than 2 weeks, you get really tired in your arms, and any resistance that you can minimize on, like a lure, spinners, there's no way that I have enough strength to use a spinner all day long. No way, or even half a day. So you want to minimize as much that you have to use for effort. Because of the wolves, I made an extra fire pit closer to my hammock so I can keep it kind of rolling throughout the night. Even though I sleep like a baby. Okay, so here is my other fire pit. So I can just kind of add wood throughout the night. When you're opening up packages or like even pancake mix or so, and you're adding that, make sure, especially when in primitive area, to do that over the fire pit. Don't do it over the food barrel, like where your food is. Mine's over there. If I did that and any little excess is going to get on the ground, no bueno. You want to do it over the fire pit. And I'm going to be able to hear that. I hope so. That's really not that much, actually. Yeah, I need to add another one down there. Boy, I should have done that a few days ago. When you set these up, set them up as tight as you can. And on top of that, set them up in like where the path is coming from mainly. You know, don't have this one like, I thought it'd slide all cool like a glass drink on a bar, but whatever. So yeah, have them, you see this path? That's where you're gonna. Three hours into looking for sheds. You gotta have a keen eye for something like this. What do y'all think that is? A little mink or something? A jawbone or something. Tiny. A beaver. A beaver skull. In the morning and when you get done at night, make sure to check your bags, the straps on them, the threads, everything, and bring a sewing kit with you. You're gonna need to patch that up. You're gonna need a sewing kit. And I cannot tell you how horrible it is to have a backpack strap break in the middle of nowhere. And when you're in primitive, you have nobody passing by chance to help you out. If you don't have a needle and thread on you, you're going to be carrying that like a dead weight baby. This is my final port. It's about a mile long. I'm pretty worried. My thighs are already buckling. One thing I love about primitive area is when you're in a situation like this, you really don't have any choice of not going forward, because going backward would take longer. I know the route backwards, but it'd take longer and more work. So I have to do a lot of work to get out of here. Either way, it is what it is. One thing I do worry about, especially on long primitive ports like this, is of course my bear barrel. I've had a bear at my bear barrel. bear barrel. I've had a bear at my bear barrel twice before coming back from the port, and they were just like sniffing it, and I was able to scare them away pretty easy. But this is long enough to where they have an hour and a half to 2 hours to tackle it. So it'd be cool if I get some scratch marks on it, but don't take my food. The other big thing is my canoe. I'm always worried about like a moose, so I never try to put it on a moose path, just in case, you know, a really small chance they come down. But if a moose came down and stepped on my canoe, I would be screwed. I mean, it would break it more than just what duct tape could fix, because it have a hoof going through. And oh man, I hope that never happens to me. It's like June 15th and I found my first bullet. Beating him tonight. Okay, I might be leaving my canoe here for the night. This is the last port I'm gonna put it on a time lapse. I don't know if the battery will hold out the whole while. 1 hour. Probably take an hour and a half now. I'm so tired. Okay, here we go. When you're walking through bog and you see plants like that, stay away from it. That's just gonna get pretty deep there. I'm gonna try to follow moose paths, but not directly on them, because they obviously sink down into this water more. Okay, so battery died on a time lapse. I made it to the last of the 3 bogs. This is the beginning of it. I seen 2 black bear that just got up in front of me not too long ago. Both were pretty burly looking. Yeah, I don't know where they are anymore. Now, hopefully they went away. People ask me a lot, what would I do if I got attacked by a black bear? Well, I'm not too concerned about it unless they got cubs. But if so, there's 1 of 3 things I do. Number 1, I just turtle myself, I suppose. Number 2, because I saved that moose the other day, the moose and I have a pact where they'll leave me alone and they'll also protect me from the bears. There's nothing saying on the wolves or the lynx or bobcats or whatnot, but those 2 are covered. And the third thing is I can squeal really loud, like higher than like a 5-year-old girl. So if I get that decibel right, I think it might work. And that's a wrap. 22 days in primitive. Now we're in the regular boundary waters. This is gonna feel like being in a hotel. Every time I come out of primitive, it really does feel like that very last port, knowing that you're the only one that knows where that port is, how to do it, where everything about it, and that's a private like lake that I can get to. It's so special, I can't even describe it. Here we are. Let's get out of here, go back to work. Can't wait. I don't know if you can see. Use your GoPro, everything is way further away. Right there's a pictograph of a gate. That one is like a human. That one's an elephant. That one's a moose. There's the moose right here. And you know what? 4 years ago, last time I saw that, you can see that a lot better. I wonder why in only 4 years. Let's have it. What's your thoughts on this? Does a beaver slap in the water affect the fish around? Because almost every other animal species like tunes into other animals on like predators around and everything else. I bet if a beaver slaps the water, that vibration is going to go quite a way. I bet you're not going to catch a fish. I don't know if I've ever caught a fish. Has anyone ever caught a fish with the beaver slapping the water? Now instead of just sliding the canoe and making it the whole way, you're going to slide it till you get the tip in and then raise it as much as you can. And then just let the tip, only the tip, just the tip, touch the water. Okay, so we'll be good. So see, like that. Keep the rest off the rock. And then drop it down. Hey, look where I am. I'm back where I began. This is the end of my trip. Thanks a lot for following all my adventures. I hope to have a lot more in the future. God willing, you never know. If anybody has any suggestions for my next route, I'd love to hear it. If you could check out some topography where you might think that a primitive lake is that needs bushwhacked to, that would be good for fishing or sheds, or not in Canada, because Canada still has their rules where they don't want any Americans up in there right now. So if you could give me some suggestions, that'd be great. Every moment that I have out here, the appreciation I have when I come back, the perspective that changes just offsets everything for a good month and a half, 2 months. It's unreal, surreal. I would love to do this full time someday. Please help me out. Like, comment, and share. Please share. If you're trying to go solo out here, make sure that you go with your knots. I mean, so good that no matter if you're using a fishing knot, slip knot, any kind of knot, that you can do it blindfolded. You don't need your eyes. One of the main reasons why is because when you're going to be tying something off higher up, especially like your cord for your tarp, anything that's higher up, you don't want to be looking, because if you get anything in your eyes, it's pretty detrimental out here. So here's a good example. This right here is just a slip knot that I put on my tarp on most of them. That way, if something was to happen throughout the middle of the night and I needed to switch for whatever reason, I don't know what it would be, but if so, then a slip knot I feel is the best for something like this. But okay, so this is undone. I'm gonna put it up here in the highest V that I can. By doing so, like that, I'm gonna feel the tension. Tension feels good right there. First knot's done. That's through. Boom. Now, if you were to happen to look at that, like I said, especially by yourself, you get something in your eye. I had one time where I got something in my eye, and I was freaking out for a while. I flushed it out all night long, couldn't sleep. Next day, still flushed it out, and ended up being a thorn in my eyelid, where I had to use my camera to see a selfie of it and peel back my eyelid. I took a whole bunch of photos, and then finally I saw a black dot on my eyelid. And then I used selfie mode on my cell phone, peeled back my eyelid. I had tweezers in my medical kit, and I grabbed a hold of it once I turned my eyelid inside out and pulled it through. I was in the middle of one of the furthest primitive areas I've ever been. And like I said, I was freaking out a bit. So. Alright, where's it at, huh? Guess it's up above. Okay, so I made it to Pitfall Lake late last night in the dark. It wasn't fun. Yeah, it was quite a memory. I made a lot of mistakes, learned a lot. But I got something in my eye last night, and thought it would be okay by morning. Hard going to sleep, and woke up in the morning, and I've been resting it, trying to wash it out, trying to figure out how bad of an emergency this is. I couldn't see anything, and now finally I think I see it. It's a thorn or some kind of piece of wood, I think, inside my eye, and it's going through my eyelid. And can you see the thorn coming out? It's right there in the center. So I gotta somehow peel back my eyelid, use something for a mirror, and use tweezers to get that out. I don't know. Setting up camp here, and I just got done with my whole eye problem that I was super worried about, and I just got stung in the face by something. I don't know what it is. I already make dinner here, and kind of, I think I can see my lip. Damn. I'm gonna take some Benadryl, I think, because I think I can feel my jaw swelling up now down here. There's no bees around either, so I mean, I haven't seen a bee this whole trip. I don't know what the hell it was. I mean, it didn't hurt. I didn't feel any kind of sting or pinch or nothing. I was actually in the middle of trying to catch a snake right up there while I was tying down one of those, but I know it's fact no damn snake jumped up on me. Okay, in case you're wondering how long it takes to bushwhack a trail, it took me 4.5 hours to clear out a trail. Whoa, that's not good. Again. It took me 4.5 hours to clear a trail for 20 minutes of walking. And every single time I come out with so many twigs and so much shit in my hair. I should have brought my skydiving skull cap, but man.
So because of unexpected rain, I had to switch my tarp on over. Anyways, so I'm going to show you a few little secrets. This right here, a hammock, you want to make sure it's at a 45-degree angle like that. That's going to be the most comfortable. So whether or not you need to hike this up or stretch this out tighter, get that 45-degree angle. Second, this right here, loop it back and forth in between. Go back up in here. And especially in between the little notches. This will prevent any rain from coming down that line. It'll act as like a little speed bump for it to hit, so that rain will come down and flow through there.
And if you ever do tip, stay with your canoe. Do not get separated from your canoe. Your canoe is like your horse. It's your landline. This canoe is go all the way down there, and I go for the bank right here. There's no way for me to get back to camp over there without going there first.
Doing that to get southbound where I need to be. In order to do so, I highly recommend some seal socks and some kind of keen sandals. So every day, this is while I'm here at this camp, this is my water station where I filter water. However, you have all this in the water just today, just because of the wind and everything. But don't put that in your dirty water filter bag. It's just gonna gunk up your filter. Check the other side. You know, I understand maybe you don't want to paddle out there a little ways and rather just fill it up and have the filter do its job, but long term, no bueno.
I like to get out there at least 3 or 4 feet and swipe the top. You go down the first time, second down, and third up, and that's it.
My portable yoke, I put locking nuts on them just so that if whatever reason it comes unscrewed and this gets lost on a port or somewhere and I'm having to jimmy rig it, like I'm just pointing that out as I remembered it because I noticed that I lost one of my locking nuts. So it's pretty important to have a yoke. That would suck not to have a yoke. I've heard of a guy one time that broke his yoke and he had to find some hardwood out here and make a yoke out of it. That's what I'd have to do. Make a yoke out of some cedar.
Whenever you step in a canoe, it's not just all about balance, but also about foot placement and how low you are in the canoe. So whenever you see me step on in, ready yet, when you see me like crawl across my canoe, I'm always as low as I can be, and I put both hands and I separate that weight as much as possible. Now when I step in, I'm not going to step in the center because my body weight is already this way. It's going to push it this way. I'm going to step a little offset of that, and I'm going to grab something, you know. Okay, so I think I start out by grabbing this here. Just do it and you can see. So step in, put one foot a little off center, and I grab both sides here. And I get low. I do not stand up and try to do this. I just keep getting lower as much as I can.
This right here is a good place to look for moose sheds. Moose like entering and exiting where big beaver dams are, or breakups like that. And if there's a clear path on the other side, that is their intersection. Tonight it's a little too windy, the gusts are, to fish. People wonder what I do up here on my when I have a lot of downtime. I write a lot, poems, of course, but also I'll go foraging and shed hunting. So if you're nervous about doing so, I suggest just starting out in increments. So at your camp spot, just start 40 feet in and just walk around the perimeter. And then on the way back, move in another 40 feet and you'll be able to still see the water, and then walk back. That is a great starter for how I started venturing out further and further. You'll get to know the topography, what plants are close to water, what are away, what the hilltops look like, the vegetation up there versus down below. Lots of things. Put your batteries in upside down until you're ready to use them. Freezer dried meals, after I add the water and zip it up and let it sit for 10 minutes. After that, I'll add more water and then add it to my pot and then let it boil and stir it. And if not, it seems those freezer dried meals, the meat really never cooks all the way through. And also I bring like some of Sweet Sue's chicken packages, and I add that extra to different meals. You should check it out. I have two separate really nice paddles that are like $200. The other one that I have is all carbon fiber, even the blade. This one is called Assassin Backwater, and it's got rubber, some kind of rubber for the blade. It's also got this hook here. It comes in a lot of use, especially when I have them separated and I'm in a small creek and as wide as my canoe. I can then like grab on branches. My canoe got away one time just a little ways and I was able to grab it with a hook. Your fishing line, getting that, but a huge downside is when you're going through lily pads, every few strokes you got to turn the blade just right before you lift it out of the water, otherwise you're going to catch lily pads on that every single time. This one I think would be more durable. That's why I brought it on long trips. The carbon fiber, just if it chipped, I don't know how strong. I mean, it's carbon fiber, but still, if it chips, this rubber, I'm pretty confident that's not going to break. I have said this so many times before. Fire stoker, that's where it's at. It's so easy. Always, when going exploring, leaving your camp, just going fishing even, one thing to always have in your canoe is your duct tape. You don't need a full roll, but you need some just in case you get a hole. You get a hole, you don't want to be stranded and have to swim to your island in this cold water and get hypothermia, or have to walk, 4 hours of landmass just to get back to camp. This is what I'm talking about. Roll down tree. Plenty of knots in it. Here's one here, here. Even though it's super dry wood and it'll burn really quick, those knots will burn super slow and this will break apart fairly easy. Now, when I break it, I'm gonna find an edge of a rock to hit it on. When I do that, I'm gonna close my eyes because I'm solo out here. Look at that. Those will burn probably a good hour. Because I'm solo, I have to do things a little differently. Such as whenever I'm trolling, you got to be very careful when you troll and you're solo. I don't use 2 poles unless it's below 5 miles per hour wind. Anything more than that, it can get dangerous very fast, so you got to be very careful. Whenever I am trolling solo with 2 poles though, I always let out in deeper water so neither one of them are going to get snagged. If I'm on this side of the shore trolling, I'm going to be using a shallower lure on this side and a deeper one on this side. preferably one of them, if not both of them, uses a Rapala or something that's going to float when you stop. Right now I'm using 4-inch spoons, which can get pretty hectic because when you stop you get one on the line. That other line you just got to release. And like I said, if it's more than 5 miles per hour wind, that drag is going to be taken out and you're going to be dealing with a lot of problems while you got a fish on the other line. Not including where you're going against the bank or in the middle of a lake you get blown out to. It can get very dangerous. I suggest never using 2 poles unless it's 5 miles per hour or less wind and your experience. It can get mentally frustrating as well. Have everything placed where you need it. I keep a dry towel at my feet as well. I love it. It soaks up all the water, and every now and then I just wring it out. That way it doesn't get through the whole place, the whole canoe.
Out of practice, we trim out a canoe. We got wind coming towards you. We're going way in the front. It looks like a tree has been dug up or something here. A triangle mark right here. So digging out. We'll dig that out. A bear? Bears dig holes? Stay cool in this summer? I don't know.